Hi friends and welcome. Today we are here to watch season 2 episode 14 of Angel, which is called The Thin Dead Line. I feel like this is a very dramatic episode title, but I don't know if I'm feeling a very dramatic episode right now. We're really in a Monster of the Week territory since Darla and Drew left, which by the way is like unacceptable and I'm ready for them to come back. I thought that we were taking like an episode away from them. It's been at least like a solid 2 and now I'm like maybe this is it for them. I don't know, guys. I would love to refuse to believe that this is it for them just because I love them and I want them to be back and I feel like there's so much that we can explore with that. But at the same time, I feel like I could totally also see season 2 going in a completely different direction and just not focusing on them. What is a thin dead line? Like the line in between somebody being dead and alive is like really thin because sometimes somebody can look like they're alive and they're dead. Oh yeah, this could have something to do with Angel. I still got to a 1 in my head and his whole like mission to sort of become a human again, and maybe has to do with that line of like, is he a human, is he alive, or is he not? It's like a thin line. I don't know. And I'm just excited to also see this squad because it feels like they're really starting to hold their own. Like, I think they did really well. They're working together as a group in the previous episode and seems like they're definitely taking a different route for Angel investigations and it's like working for them. So I'm curious to see if this means that they're ready to have Angel come back or if Angel's ready to come back or if they're really going to be flying solo for a while. Because it kind of feels like they're going to fly solo, but I miss having Angel with them. I guess this is it, y'all. That really made it seem like I was just gonna stop the video and just leave. I mean, we should head into the episode, so let's see what this is all about. I'm super ready, and let's fucking go.
Look, I say if things are quiet, let them be quiet.
Oh no, this is so bad.
Quiet may be good for mankind, but bad for business.
We need to make
Good
a
for
name
mankind?
ourselves. We can't expect evil to just walk through the door.
Who is this?
Can we help you?
They're definitely evil.
Looking for Wesley Wyndham Price.
We specialize in strange. There's nothing we haven't see.
Oh, whoa.
The back of her head.
That is creepy.
Something grabbed Stephanie on the way home from swim practice and bit her. When she woke up this morning, that was there.
Oh my god, so she wasn't born with this?
Can you make it go away?
Yes, absolutely. Consider us already on the job.
That is creepy. Like, imagine being bit. Like, I'd rather become Spider-Man.
Pass these out first and then get Eva to go to the storage room. I bought a bunch of new sleeping bags last week just in case we got crowded.
Oh, are we going back to the Blood Money episode? Is this what's happening?
Open up!
Am I going crazy?
Open up! And look, I know it's past curfew, but we gotta come in.
Sorry, Kenny. 10 o'clock. You know the rule.
Don't make us go back out there.
Oh, that's not Lorne.
Big meeting tomorrow night, some top-level Wolfram and Hard Brass. I think it's a new demon account. 9:30, Diaghilev. And that concludes my career as a professional informant, all right? Consider it a freebie, just like every other bit of information I've ever given you.
Why the rush to relocate?
Well, let's see. There's, you. Then there's every other crook and monstro in this town thinks they could just waltz in here and pound me till they get information without paying either. How is old Wesley, huh? Or the other 2 you fired? They doing all right? Oh, gee, let me guess. You never even bothered to check.
I'm sure he did. Angel, he's one that pretends he doesn't care, but I'm sure he's looking at them from a distance and knows exactly what's happening.
Why'd you come in?
Cops.
What?
Cops. They've been hassling everybody lately. Tell you what else new though, right? He hit me so hard I thought my teeth were coming out.
He hit you? What were you doing?
Nothing, I swear to God. And then after he punched me, he threw Les against the wall, about near broke her arm.
We got a big problem.
Yeah. Good luck solving it. I mean, who are you gonna call? Cops?
I think I know someone who might help.
Eddie, what's up, girl?
I kind of thought she was gonna go to Angel. I love it.
You used to hunt.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. They know what's what.
What?
I still hunt vampires, but if this job's taught me anything, it's that there's a lot worse things out there than a set of teeth.
Like a bunch of overzealous cops beating on my kids. Angel?
Oh, our company. It's named after our former boss.
This isn't the guy in the long black trench coat, is it?
You know him?
Yeah. He tried to help me out a few weeks ago.
He did?
Their faces.
But it turned out it was just a scam to screw this law firm.
Well, he hasn't changed a bit.
Oh my god, they all had so much hope. Ow, that one really hurt. I told you he'd be lurking in the shadows, like seeing what they're up to. But that's just kind of creepy, but it's okay, sir. I know you mean well. Just don't do that a lot. Okay.
The cops went to stop me the other night. He went for his gun looking to put a cap in my ass, man.
The bad thing is that, like, I'm not sure this is a monster. I think these might just be actual humans.
She wants to trust y'all. And I find out you taking advantage of that.
This ain't no scam, G. We're the victims, man.
Victims. Right.
I gave that up.
Well, do the cops know that? Because maybe they didn't get your email.
Hey, we're not talking
Gun.
about some street sweep the PD does every 6 months to shut up the moms.
Why is Gunn not believing them? If there would be one person who would believe these people, I really think it would be Gunn, who actually sort of has his eyes on the street and knows what's happening.
Sorry, officer, have I done something wrong?
Turn around, face the fence. Place your hands on your head.
This is a mistake.
Holy shit!
Believe me, you don't want to do this. You have the right to an attorney.
Okay, no, that's mystical. Yeah, there's something wrong with this man.
Do you understand your rights as I have?
Did his head... No.
You've been moving on up, dog. Playing demon detective with your new family. Deluxe apartment in the sky. When I got the call, I figured it must be Christmas or something.
Maybe I shouldn't have called at all. All right, look, the plan is simple. I want you to roll the camcorder, wait for the cops to hassle us.
How do you know they will?
Because we'll be the ones walking while black. Come on.
This is my moment. This is my moment. Where is she?
I'm busy.
Oh, she's right there!
Yeah, me too.
Hi! I miss her so much.
13 lawyers from Wolfram and Hart slaughtered in a wine cellar.
A real tragedy.
Yeah, you seem pretty broken up by the loss. Anyway, we're still looking into this one. Sounds like you enjoyed it, but then again, the whole murder and mayhem thing's always been right up your alley.
If that's how you feel, I guess probably this isn't the best time to tell you. I just killed a cop.
I wouldn't make a joke about that in this building, no matter how immortal you think you are.
And tell me who that badge belonged to?
Okay, I thought she could freak out a little bit more, but I'm glad she's believing him.
Officer Peter Harks.
You know him?
Well enough to be at his funeral 6 months ago.
Just that in order to find out if the police have been brutalizing and killing people in Anne's neighborhood, he's going to videotape the cops trying to brutalize and kill him.
You can't be serious.
Gunn graduated with a major in dumb planning from Angel University. He sat at the feet of the master and learned well how to plan dumbly.
The master?
He wants our help. He knows where to call us.
We'll work our gig. Gunn can work his.
Right, let's get down there and save him from himself.
It's not like that third eye's really going anywhere.
I love them. They actually care about him so much. Oh my god, we're really getting to see them team up. This is exciting.
That one.
Well, this ground's been disturbed in the past few weeks. Someone's done some digging.
How do you know?
A lot of cops buried her.
Yeah?
Oh my god, it's like a whole zombie attack thing?
What is going on here?
I think someone's unearthing dead cops and
Dad
putting them back on the streets.
What? How is that?
Zombies. Magically reanimated corpses. They walk, they talk, and somebody else is pulling their strings.
Oh my god.
My dad, is he?
No. This ground's
Are
undisturbed.
you sure?
Sure. You okay?
Cute.
Where do you want me to start?
How are your laundry folding skills?
I'm an actress. I can fake it.
But I really don't have any free beds.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. I'm sure I can find someone willing to share. Oh, yes. Plenty of candidates.
What are you doing?
Doing? Nothing, man. Just taking a walk.
Put your hands on the wall, step back, and spread your feet apart.
You arresting us?
Do as you're instructed.
Officer, I'd just like to know if we're being arrested.
This man is a friend of mine, a very good friend. I'm sure he hasn't committed any...
What? I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Is anyone else cold?
It's okay, man. We're gonna take you someplace warm. Help me pick him up!
I shot a cop.
Not a lot of choice.
We gotta move.
Why is he barely
Killed a police officer.
bleeding?
Look at him, he dead.
Ay, caralho!
Don't look that dead.
Let's go!
We have a situation.
Are you a zombie bitch?
Can I help you folks? Crime's way down this precinct. We're doing things right.
Who takes credit for that?
It's a team effort. But the captain's the one who really got the ball rolling.
Oh God, it's not looking good.
Ambulance ain't gonna come down here.
Shut up before they hear you.
I don't think I'm doing very well.
Hey, you're gonna be fine, man, all right? Getting shot like this? Yeah. I've seen a lot of people been shot worse than this. Never even slowed them down.
I feel like when you start lying, it's... Okay.
Meet me at the shelter, all right? Watch your backs. Hey, I'm with him. It's all right, man. Hang on, Wes. We almost there, okay?
Something's going on up there. I'll go see what it is.
Please don't.
Hey, you guys. You gotta let us through.
No! Don't! Hey! Hang on!
Damn, let's fucking go, God.
What are you doing?
Trying to survive. Help me get him inside. Come on, Wes. Come on, man.
Here, take this.
Come on, man. I got you.
Oh my God. Why is he not taking him to the hospital?
Oh my God, what happened?
They shot him.
All passengers are on board, sir. We have full containment.
Wait for backup. Secure the entire section. Clean house.
No, that's not super great.
Wesley, what can I do?
Apply pressure to the wound.
I love that she's not the least bit, like, squeamish right now.
He's going south.
No,
What?
I think there's internal bleeding, but we can't help him here. We gotta get him to St. John's, fast.
He's going to die. We're taking him to a hospital now. I don't care who's out there.
Yes, Queen! Let's fucking go!
Where are we going?
To the hospital.
This sounds sensible to me.
Except don't open the door, Cordy!
Actually, I need to talk to you.
About what?
How about some of your more dead cops?
Maybe we should talk about you instead.
How do I stop them?
These are good cops. They put their lives on the line. I died on the streets.
You should have left them that way.
I won't betray them.
All right, get the kids in the back. Get them upstairs.
I'm sorry, and where's Wes? with all this shit going on? Oh. Oh! Oh, it's getting very witchy. Okay.
How are you controlling them, huh?
I mean, look around, sir.
Here we go. It's the Idol of Granite.
The zombie guy.
Oh! Whoa.
The kids.
Cordelia's face.
Wesley!
Oh yeah, he's still shot! Like this solves— oh my god, sir!
Up until 3 months ago, there was a murder every 2 weeks, a rape every 2 days, a robbery every hour and a half. And that's what we just gave back to the people of that community.
I can live with that.
You learn to live with a lot of things, don't you? This job is making me crazy.
I know the feeling.
Hey. Hey. How you doing?
Is this movie? Well, it's bloody lovely.
Where's Cordelia in this, though? She needs to be there as well when he wakes up. Angel, go in there. Show them you care, please. Oh.
What are you doing here?
I heard about Wesley.
Well, that's great. Too bad it takes a gunshot wound to make you give a crap. Wesley doesn't need you right now. We don't need you. Do us a favor and just stay away.
You don't mean that, Cordy. Oh god. No, that's gonna push him even more away. Damn it! This was not this. It's like I keep thinking that they're gonna sort of go back together and stuff, but that just made it so much worse. This feels like they're drifting more and more apart. I didn't sign up for this. This is not okay. You know, seeing Angel look at this from the outside, and it just had such a feeling of like they're making it on their own. They don't need him. There was something about it that also just felt so true in the sense of like just real, and I feel like a feeling that many people can relate to of just sometimes looking at things from the outside and like understanding that like maybe you're not needed in that scenario like you thought you did. But I can also totally understand that Cordelia, you know, has to put up this front now because he really like abandoned them. You know, this is so fucked up, you know. I'm kind of bummed. This ending was just, it was something. I think this episode was really interesting in regards to like the different relationships and pairings that they focused on, but also bring in Anne to the equation and bring Kate into the frickin' equation, which I love. And every episode with Kate, listen, Kate just makes her episodes better. And I just need the Angel writers to understand this. I need them to understand what a fucking wasted potential it is to have a character like Kate and not utilize her, because she's so great and it's so fun. And you know, the only good thing about her not being very present in like the show as a whole is that like every time I see her, it's just pure delight, and I know that like I'm just gonna be so happy about it. I kind of want to start talking about Kate and Angel just because I feel like I saw some of their chemistry again, and I thought that her purpose on the show was going to be a love interest for Angel to sort of get him out of the Buffy slump, because you know that was harsh for him. But then like I've sort of convinced myself otherwise just as we continued watching, because I saw that like it was not really going anywhere. But I feel like this episode really brought it all back, because even though I had completely discarded her as a possibility and thought I was majorly overreading this, I feel like there was just something about them in this episode that I was like, I could still see a romance brewing in between these two. And I don't know if it's just because it reminded me so much of Buffy. Like, please, you're gonna put Angel in a cemetery with a blonde woman. What do you think I'm gonna think, Angel writers? Where do you think my mind is gonna go? They provided me with my favorite scene in the entire episode of just Kate in the cemetery and just, you know, her mind immediately going to her dad and like the concern I don't know why that scene really sort of tugs at my heart, but I just feel like it was so small but meaningful to see her break down over that, because I feel like you could tell that her concern was so genuine. And I feel like with grief, at so many moments of like kind of forgetting and remembering, and I feel like that was just a moment of acknowledgement, of remembering what has happened to her father. And I think that maybe unconsciously she was kind of hoping that his grave would have been turned and stuff, just so that like it would mean that she would get to see him one more time, even if it wasn't him. Or maybe she was just crying out of relief of like, thank God I'm not gonna have to kill my father. I just thought it was really interesting, because I also immediately thought about Kate's dad, and I was wondering, are they going to be using that? Because while I do think it would have been so interesting for Kate's dad to come back to life, to see how that would work out, to maybe have him be the one in charge and stuff like that, all of that would have been really interesting. But I really, really enjoyed the meaningfulness of him not being one of the people who rose, and just getting to see her grief and just sadness in a different way than it would have been explored if he actually came back. So I think that was, it's just a scene that was like so small but so important to me, because I've already talked about how I really feel like they brushed past this death and this pain for Kate so quickly, that I really appreciate this nod to that, and just, acknowledging how much pain she's still in. Right now in the end, when they come up to her and they, tell her about Wes and stuff, this is interesting, because this makes me feel like she's keeping tabs on the whole squad, right? In a similar way that Angel does. I think that, like, in the background, like, low-key, she knows exactly what all of them are up to at any given moment. She's still there. She's still paying attention. Because otherwise, why would they be coming to tell her about Wes? I think this just means that she's been keeping track of them. See, that's why I think Angel and Kate are similar in a lot of ways. They both care about the other people, but they don't exactly know how to show that sometimes. I also think it's very interesting how they were bonding about, like, their hatred for their jobs. This is a topic that we've discussed about Angel for a while, which is that, like, he doesn't love being a vampire, he doesn't love this life that he sort of fell into, and it's interesting to see that Kate feels in a similar way. It was interesting to see her sort of doubt everything for a moment when she sees, like, the crime numbers and stuff. Kate tries to see everything as a little bit black and white, like, she finds out Angel's vampire, she's like, hell no. And I do think that shows that she's, like, I guess, being a little bit more flexible, in the sense of being like, what even is right? Like, what makes things right? I think that, like, that's a very strong way for them to bond, and I do hope that we get to see Kate again, because she's just amazing, and I think she brings out a really interesting, deep side of Angel. I feel like this entire episode was just growing the relationship in between Wes, Cordy, and Gunn, like, so much, because I think that, for example, seeing Cordelia stand up for Wesley that much, fully knowing that this means she's putting her life at risk getting out of there, but not even having to think about it, being like, no, we are taking him to a hospital, sort of no matter the cost. And then seeing Gunn, like, do whatever fucking needs to be done to get Wes out of, like, the situation and stuff. And even just Wes putting himself in danger, going after Gunn. There was so much sacrifice and friendship and just genuine connection that was built in this episode, and I think demonstrated in this episode, that I think it made the ending scene of Angel looking at that from a distance even more hurtful. Because I think he's noticing that these bonds are being created. He's noticing that, like, they're fine without him. And that was my question. Like, are they fine without him? Because technically, Wes is in the hospital. I do think that in his head, he thinks that they're fine without him, and that they don't need him, and that they're better off without him. But I think that, like, in reality, deep down, they do need him. Like, he ended up saving the day, and, like, I think even the squad knows it. But, like, it's what Cordelia said in the end. Like, he pushed them away. I also thought it was interesting that Wes and Cordelia were so like, oh my god, Gunn's plan is the worst, how did he come up with this? And I was like, oh, this actually seems like a solid plan. Like, I didn't realize that he was doing a bad plan. I think, should he have thought things through a little bit more, maybe come up with some bulletproof vests? Mayhaps that would have worked better, but I feel like it was still a solid plan, and I think that, they're definitely still working on figuring stuff out. So I think they were too quick to judge. I think it kind of worked out in the end a little. I feel like it was such an interesting contrast to see both Angel and Wes getting shot this episode, because, while Angel brushed it off and didn't even flinch, like, I figured that he would at least be like, like, I don't know, maybe somebody, like, pinched him or something, and he'd be like, ow. But no, he was like, I just got shot, like, twice or something, and he's totally fine. Meanwhile, Wes gets shot, like, once, and he's, like, on the ground dying. So I just feel like it's such an interesting contrast to have both of those things happen in the same episode, because I think it just showed the different like power dynamic there and how like this is nothing for Angel. He's been through so much worse and this doesn't affect him because he's so fucking powerful. Meanwhile, for Wes, it's a near-death experience. I kind of love these moments just for how much it shows that they stick together. I love that Cordelia, when taking care of Wesley, I mean, she's very Cordelia, but she's not the Cordelia like with the commentary that we would expect, you know, because I feel like it would be so her to like, I don't know, be worried that her clothes would have blood or like be squeamish about it or like, I don't know, like any sort of complaint because Cordelia is kind of a complainer. But no, I like that like she was extremely into it. She was going to do what needed to be done. She was not concerned about herself. She was not thinking about herself at all. And I do think this is a very different Cordelia than what we have met. This was completely about Wes, and I love that sort of character progress for her and just showing, you know, how much she's changed and how good she is, you know, going to help Anne out. That was also a really interesting friendship sort of that was formed this episode, and I was wondering like, oh, could this be a friendship that we're doing? Because I feel like Cordelia, it's not that she's alone, but I do think that I definitely miss her having a female in the show to sort of be friends with. It's different to have girlfriends and like boyfriends. It's different people, right? And I just feel like I miss that for her. Even if we don't see it all the time, you know, I like the idea of Cordy having some friends outside of the gang and, you know, maybe a woman. I did not expect us to see Anne again, and especially this soon. And it's really interesting because I definitely did not recognize her when we saw her at first, and I apologize for that. But like, oh my god, it's been so long since I saw season 3 of Buffy. It feels like forever ago. You know, it didn't even occur to me that that would be the Anne. I mean, no, I'm lying. When I heard the name Anne, I was going to make a joke about Anne, but I was like, you know, sometimes I won't say everything that pops up in my head, otherwise I'm going to be talking the entire video. Even though I was going to make a joke about it, it never occurred to me that that could actually be the real Anne. So totally unexpected to see her. Really interesting to do so, because it seems like she might somewhat become a character, and I wonder to like what extent, if she could be like another Lorne, because Lorne, you know, will show up here and there and he'll help out. And I wonder if she could be the opposite of just like sometimes needing help here and there. She's somebody who seems like she has the best of hearts and really just wants to help people and just very genuine. So I like her character, and like I said, I wonder if they would be exploring those friendships. I feel like I have to talk about Gunn this episode. I don't want to blame the writing, but I do think that some of the writing might have been a little bit inconsistent with his character, because I just don't think Gunn would doubt these people. You know, when they're telling him that they've been targeted by these cops and stuff, I feel like if there is one person in the show that I really think would believe them without even thinking twice, it would be Gunn. Because he's the one who's sort of got his ears on the ground and like, you know, has been through, I want to say more, or at least like a different experiences than the rest of the squad, who I think have lived a more like privileged life, I want to say. You know, I'm thinking about Cordelia. Based on his background, based on his experiences, I feel like he has seen enough to know that this could very much be a possibility. So I don't like that his first reaction to hearing about this is doubting them. I feel like I just don't see that happening. I feel like he would be the one immediately standing up for them when other people are doubting them. So that threw me off a little in regards to like just his character. But that's not to say that I don't like him. I love him, and I feel like that's exactly why it bothered me, is that I was seeing that and I was like, that is not Gunn. Gunn would not do that. He would not. I'd actually be really curious to know what you guys think about Gunn in this episode, because maybe I'm overthinking things. I do that a lot. If you're actually watching this, leave me a comment. Let's talk a little bit about Gunn. I'm curious to discuss that. You know, because I feel like it's so interesting for me to discuss this show, because very rarely I'm going to have an opinion that I'm like super set on and refuse to change. You know, I'm always open to hearing new things, you know, except if you're going to tell me that like you don't like Tillo, for example, in that which case, don't even bother. You're not going to change my mind. But in general, you know, super open to hearing your thoughts. In regards to the actual story of the episode, I think it was a really pretty interesting story. I think zombies are something that we haven't explored in the Buffyverse that much. I liked the motivation behind it, you know, because I've always said this, like, I feel like the villains are so much more compelling when they actually think they're doing a good thing, and I really do think that that cop thought that he was doing good for the community. He was not. He was very wrong, but like, he wasn't doing it just for the sake of being bad. I think he had good intentions deep down, and I do think that makes everything a little bit more interesting. It was extremely creepy, you know, the whole beheading thing. I think it definitely had some horror aspects to it, but in a way that wasn't awfully gory. And I think it was just, they seemed very unhinged, immediately resorting to violence. It didn't seem like they were the most rational And it's interesting to fight with villains that you can't rationalize with. It's just violence. You just have to resort to violence because that's what they're doing. But I do think that it's also interesting that we had a different case this episode that didn't really go anywhere in regards to the girl with the eye in her head. Okay. I don't know if this is a case that we're going to continue, but I'm going to assume that maybe this is going to be the monster of the week of the next episode, because why else would they have brought her in? It feels kind of like the D&D guy from the end of season 1, where he showed up and there was like, you know, other things happening in that episode, and I was like, but why are we focusing on this man if the episode could have worked without him? And this is how I feel about, you know, the eye head girl. Why are we focusing on her? Was it to show that the squad cares more about Gunn than like getting money and helping solve that case? Or could we still be talking about that? Because I feel like it's a pretty freaking crazy villain. Like, I thought the monster of the week was going to be these like monsters that bite people when like eyes come on in their head. Like, that's creepy, that's big, that's a monster right there. So I think that the next episode is going to be a follow-up for that story. Why is that eye there? It feels very like, I hate to say it, very Drusilla-y in the sense of like, I wonder if that eye gives her a specific vision. Obviously she can see things that other people don't, but I wonder if that's gonna work in like a larger sense of like visions and stuff like that. But I do think that they're setting up some larger storylines this episode, you know, with Merle saying that Wolfram and Hart is planning something. They were discussed, but they weren't seen, which is, again, quite interesting. This is bad, because I know that this means that they're planning some stuff and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be good, but I'm excited. I mean, it will be fun. Just maybe not for the squad. It's like what the squad was saying in the beginning of like, things are calm right now. That's bad. Like, don't ever say that. So I know that like just by them saying that, some evil has been formed just by hearing that. And I wonder what it is that Wolfram and Hart is planning, because the way that they were talking about it almost seemed like they were planning on bringing somebody else, like some other kind of demon. I just hope that we can still see Darla and Drew though, because the way that Angel was talking about it, he seemed like almost proud to have gotten rid of them, and like he seems so convinced that they're gone. And I'm like, are they though? Really? I don't think a fire would like, you know. I mean, is it bad? Yes. But is it enough to drive them away? I'm really hoping not. We should check the name of the next episode so that we can know what is up. And I feel like I have to show this came in right now while I was recording. My mom just sent me a video of Sarah Michelle Gellar on, apparently, I think Sex and the City is what my mom's watching right now. And I just need to show how badly this video was filmed. That's it. That's all. This is what I get for like not being able to Google anybody in the cast, is that every time they show up anywhere is just like a surprise. Like, I just found out Anthony Stewart Head is in Percy Jackson. What? Even though apparently Lexi told me this like a year ago and I literally forgot. Like, one of my friends told me, somebody else, and I was like, what? And then Lexi was like, bro, I told you this like a year ago. Okay, so the next episode, it is called Reprise. Listen! This is Darla and Drusilla. This is Darla and Drusilla. It's they're coming back. They're reprising their roles as Darla and Drusilla. I will not even bother making any other predictions because I know that this is what is going to happen. Come on, like, reunion and then reprise. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. They're coming back. They're coming back. This is going to be my moment. I really hope this is going to be my moment or I'm going to be so fooled. But this is just, the episode sounds so much like it. Please, Drusilla, Darla, Faith, come back to me. Come back to me. Okay. Well, we're going to have to see. But I have to say that my hopes are definitely up. My expectations are not at bay, and I'm very excited as always, so I hope I will see you all then, and I hope you stay safe and hug some people. Okay, bye bye.